Hey everyone, Dr. Josh Matson here with Infinity Chiropractic Center. So I'm going to talk today what you guys can do to help your kids read better without actually having them read this summer. Because, I struggled with reading my entire life. Up until I figured out some things and the reason why I was having reading difficulties. But I struggled all the way through elementary school, middle school, high school. I was not a very fast reader. I had a lot of difficulty with it. I had special tutors. I had, whatever. Came to the summer, the last thing that I wanted to do was read more and try to develop those skills more and more and more when I already didn't have the necessary foundation to read well in the first place. So that's what a lot of kids lack. Is a lot of kids, it's not that they can't read, it's that they can't read because they don't have the necessary foundation that's needed to create the ability to read. So you have them do the activity over and over and over and over again, and they just can't develop because they don't have a foundation for it. So things you can do to help them get that foundation, I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so there's a few basic things that every child needs for their eyes to track well enough for them to follow a line and for them to go to one point to the next point. And those few things are they can't have primitive reflexes. If a child has primitive reflexes, especially an ATNR or an STNR, standing for an asymmetrical tonic neck reflex, or a symmetrical tonic neck reflex, they won't have the basic foundation for their eyes to track well, and you'll see skipping in the middle of their vision. You'll see an inability for them to fixate their eyes and turn their head at the same time. If they have a symmetrical tonic neck reflex, a lot of times they can't converge their eyes well, so they can't converge in on a word. They'll start getting double vision. So the first thing is make sure they don't have those reflexes. They're really easy to get rid of through chiropractic care and using appropriate exercise for them, and sometimes nutritional changes will help get rid of those reflexes. So if a kid has those, make sure they don't. I struggled for years and years because I had two primitive reflexes that should have been gone before 8 months, and I never knew it. And once I figured it out, life was so much easier. Number two is make sure that they can actually track. Put a dot on your finger and see if they can actually track your finger back and forth, and they should be able to do it for a good amount of time, 4 or 5 minutes without any problems at all. If they can't do that, their eyes they can't track, and they're not going to be able to follow a line and read a line. I couldn't do that as well. My eyes skipped in the middle of my vision, and it created, I would skip words, I would skip lines, I'd read the beginning of a word and make up the rest of it because my eyes jumped to the next thing, and I just keep going. So that's number two. Other things you can do outside is cross cord movements. So cross your body movements. Those will help to develop skills. So getting out and playing, doing monkey bars, jungle gyms, all those things that are really good for your child to develop gross motor strength will also help them to develop the foundation for reading. Things that won't help at all are having them sit on video games and play those all day, or having them watch TV all day. Any kid under the age of 6 should not be on electronic more than 30 minutes a day, which I know it's a big revelation for a lot of people, but they should be playing, they should be moving, they should be getting out and developing their body, and developing their brain. When you develop your body, you develop your brain. And that's what they should be doing in the first 6 years of their life, especially because 95% of your brain grows in that time. So those are the big things. And secondly, if your kid has a gluten sensitivity, they will have a ton of issues with eye tracking and reading. So take that out for like 2-3 weeks and see how their eyes track. That's a big thing that will help them substantially. So I hope this helps you guys. If you guys have any questions, please call our office. I'd love to help you in any way that I can, or message us. I'd be more than happy to message you back. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.